I just wanted to say that the reason I feel like, in my opinion, in my philosophy, to always ascend and do the right thing and like make the decisions I know in that subtle silence intuitively, like, hey, this inspired idea, I see the end goal, I see these flashes of imagery or vision or whatever, right? Things I know in myself. They never really talk about, like, they just say, oh, cut them off, make better decisions, what do you do and get a life? But the truth is, when we take time to listen to our intuition and actually have the strength to not like do it in like an egotistical way, but kind of like, yeah, I gotta cut them off. Like, I'm not gonna settle. Nobody's gonna treat me like that. And then they point their finger, right? And like break that cycle, break that chaos, because it don't matter what we did yesterday. It matters like right now. Kitty, you're really biting me. Okay, listen. So what I'm saying is this: when we make the right choice and we have the strength to spend the nights alone, and don't be so quick to reach for our phone, and like really stick to the knowingness, like, hey, like, I know this to be true. And I say it calm, I say it beautifully, and then other people start raising their voice. They're like, oh, why you always gotta do that, Andrew? No, 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 no. Why the fuck do you do that shit? And once I started saying that to people, like, I've always wanted to do things with an angelic point of view, the most beautiful way. But sometimes you gotta tell people, I want peace, and nobody's gonna ruin my party. So hey, I hear you, and I love you, and I respect you. But that's not true, so I'm not going to embrace any of that and talk about it, because I'm not responsible for your thoughts and your anxiety. No, you're not being ignored. No, I'm not being any other way than beautiful. So don't fucking project, don't point your finger. Once we have the strength, like, we spend time alone and we cut them off, but we liked a little bit of the qualities. It's not worth it. Peace and safety is ultimate, right? It's how we learn to listen to our intuition and like know that we're making the right decision and trust ourselves. But the universe does bring better things, and they don't really talk about that. They're just like, be strong, be a man. No, 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 no. Be beautiful and be kind and be real and be silent when it's time to be silent. If I say it once, twice, okay, I'll keep my excitement. If I was bleeding out, you saw it, and I really wanted to talk, never again. Never again. I won't do that to myself. So yeah, it's been a lot of lonely nights. I could have had 5, 6 women around this last couple months. It's not even about that. I didn't want them just for anything other than like presents, right? So we get coffee, hot chocolate. I want to live a Hallmark movie, right? Maybe I do want some romance. But you know what? I had to cut them off. Because I don't want to settle, and I want the most beautiful life. Look, I got a cat though. Snowball, say hello. Say hello, Snowball. Thank you. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I know this might be a little bit random and I kind of went on fast, but never settle. Make the right decisions. Don't be so quick to pick up the phone. These are my reminders. Yeah. Kitty, your ear. Thankfully, it's healing. I love you too. That's Snowball. I love you. But yeah, it's important. Once you start making the decisions to like delete that number, and we don't have to block them, there's some type of grace and excitement in knowing, like, I don't want to block them. What if one day they say, hey, you know what? It's not about me being right, but like, hey, Andrew, like, I got it now. Like, oh my God, like, damn, it makes so much sense. It makes sense. It makes sense before I even start talking. That's the thing. I feel like I'm so intuitive and such in the psychic and emotional realms that I see through everything. People are like, oh, I come off strong. Yeah, because I think that we can always have a beautiful time in the present moment. Like, dinner doesn't have to be ruined because anybody's having thoughts, or there's something. Maybe there is something going on. Maybe I'm right or wrong. Maybe you're right or wrong. But can we still enjoy this moment? The house, our dinner, the day, our goals, like our relationship. So I have to cut people off all the time. And then they like are passively trying to reach out sometimes, and then like block me out of nowhere because I was nice and responded, and they want to be like, oh, like I did it. No, motherfucker. I cut you guys off, okay? And don't ever forget that shit. I don't ever get distracted. I know exactly what my feelings are, where I want to be, who I am, and like, honestly, I deserve so much better. And once I started being better for myself and treating myself like I would treat the person in my dreams, it's when it all made sense. I don't really have any friends, but I'm living the most honest life in that realm. And I know how to cherish who will come along. So, no, I didn't lose you. You motherfuckers actually lost out on me. And it may sound ego, but it's true. I show up, I operate in the way that I do, and I'm not going to let anybody ever try to say anything or point their finger anymore. But yeah, this is kind of my reminder. But to anybody who's listening and actually stayed long enough, never settle. And don't be so quick to pick up the phone, because honestly, as soon as you stop, it's not going to ring anymore.